Sweet. I think let's check yep, that's going too. Look at that. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I kicked it. Kicked it back over a little bit. Nice. Wait, I gotta keep that straight. Alrighty. Turn that on. Maybe I guess I should. Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta move slower. Sometimes I move too fast. I gotta be more slow. Follow me, friend. There we go. Okay. Alright. Green on. Alright, y'all. So today, I gotta work today, but before I go to work, I gotta make sure I get my videos done. As you can see, I'm still really stuffed up, so I kind of sound like I'm a smooth jazz radio host today. But bear with me on that. Hopefully I get better soon. Anyway, we'll get right into it. But I guess there's one thing left to say is, let's wheel. Alrighty. This isn't. There we go. Alright. I guess I can switch to. Hold on, is this? Alright. Camera C. Camera C. There we go. Well, it's going to cut off from over here for a second, so sorry about that as I wedge this up. Sometimes you just got to get this stuff wedged. That's one thing I guess I got to think about is still, I think I got to get that webcam connected to my voice. I think that would be sick, but we'll see how that goes. So there's two. Alright, there's the other one. I guess we'll grab this little cart here. Cart stool. I'm gonna set these on there, just like that. Okay. We're gonna get right into it. We don't have time to dilly-dally. So, camera A. Go it off. Go it off. Go it off. Why is it not working? That voice command should be working. Do that every time. Sorry about that. Sometimes that thing just. So what's happening there is that the camera itself isn't being turned off after it's done playing. It's not hiding itself. So then when I switch scenes, it just goes back straight from the start. All right, camera B. Camera B. Okay, so here we go. All right, a little bit of water on there. Again, my fingers are always pulling towards me. I bring this up. Nice. Going back to the bottom and bring this up. Nice. Okay. Going down. Okay. And right underneath. There we go. Hammer fist coming down on top of it. I'm keeping my left arm pinched with my elbow over here into my hip, and so it becomes almost like a wall. I just bring all that uncentered clay right up to the wall. I'm all set. Open this up, 2 thumbs. Don't let the tap holes dry out. Have your finger go across this bottom ever so slightly. Remember, it's like scratching against a chalkboard, right? You want it to feel like you're cutting through the clay. Smooth that bottom down ever so slightly. Go up to the top here. Get your llama pole ready to make your first volcano. Nice. First volcano made. Grab your sponge. We're going to pull out our knuckle. I think I got some people saying some stuff. Let's see if anybody said anything. Oh, I should gotta do something quick. There we go. My YouTube chat wasn't up. Oh, somebody did say something. Oh, no, never mind. Okay. But anyway, we're taking our knuckle right up to this bottom edge here, and we're just bringing this right up, this little bump, right? And again, this first pull, you're not trying to get height, you're just trying to equalize that clay, because there will be way thicker on that bottom edge there. So I'm going to go one more time. Again, bring my knuckle in, and you got to make sure that your knuckle just isn't overpowering your finger on the inside, right? You got to make sure they're kind of working harmoniously together. Alright, so once we have that, I think from this point we can do a small collar. Yeah, wet a little bit. We're just going to go straight up. And again, I always feel, I skipped a little spot here. You'll see like a little channel, but when you're collaring, it should feel like you're doing a pole, in my opinion. I feel like a collar shouldn't feel like nothing's happening. And here we go. And now we're just doing just an equalizing pull, so we're not really getting height right now. We're just trying to equalize these walls to get it more into the cylindrical shape. And there you go. Look at that, guys. Nice. A little bit more there. Cool. Okay. Now I'm going back down to the bottom. Take a deep breath. And we always ask the clay, you got a little bump for us, man? Clay gives us a little bump on the bottom there. It's our job. I should just take this little bump. All the way to the top. Just take a breath as we're going up, right? As slow as you need to go, right? When you go slow in that pole, when you go slow, consistent, and focused, you can really feel the clay. You can feel it talking to you. And I think that's the coolest part when you're throwing is like, eventually, if you keep on throwing, you'll get to this point where you're not just like working with clay, you're actually having a conversation with it, right? Like it's telling you things on what by what your hands are doing to it, right? So like if you move it, all of a sudden you'll hear the clay tell you, it'll be, hey, yo, chill out for a second, or hey, put your finger a little bit lower here, right? And so you got to be, open to listening to what the clay is asking you. And sometimes if you go too fast all the time, you're not allowing yourself to listen to it, right? Sometimes you can just overpower it and it's whatever, but sometimes you really got to listen to the clay, especially when you get into your pulling stages. Okay, sponge coming up. Right up underneath this little edge here, kicking that up there. And we got to add a little bit of water. I always say this stuff down here, This is added potential. A lot of people would cut this off, but no. That's stuff that we can do in the future here. So I shouldn't have done that yet, but let's start. I actually quite like those things there. So we're gonna start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Okay. Just make sure they're all at the nice right height here for when it goes to collapse. Okay. And this will collapse pretty good, I think. So here we go. Hands on the inside here. Deep breath. Nice. Alright, I really think I gotta do a tangential cut on the bottom here. Sometimes I don't think I have to, but on this one I definitely do. I feel like sometimes when you do these, when you increase the height on this bottom here before you do the collapse, I think you gotta have something that's kind of sneaking up that side there, or else it looks a little shoddy. Okay. Okay, here we go. So curly's up. Ooh, look at that. So what's happening is that there's so much water, there's clay fissures happening, and so you saw it kind of dip down like that, right? But thankfully, the way that these forms are constructed is that they end up supporting themselves a little bit. And so even though it teared there, it's still up because the twist is allowing it a space for it to nest on. And so I always think that that's kind of a cool part of this. These forms are they're actually kind of functional, but in a different way, you know? Not functional as in you can drink out of it, but functional as in it's helping itself. Okay, here we go. Number 1, done. Camera C. I'll set that over there. See if anybody said anything. No? Okay. I feel like it's not really. Look at that. It has a really good tracking. Okay. Get one more here. Okay. Got a little bit of water on this. Take this off this edge here. We're going to get right into this next one. So you can look at the bottom here. Look at all those chunks, like those holes. Those are all air pockets that are going to get stuck with air on the bottom. And so we're just kind of getting it so it's like a point. That way you can reduce the amount of air bubbles that get trapped underneath of the pot. Okay. And remember, it's always those 2 lanes of traffic, 1 push, 1 pull. And it's that going past each other is what's going to keep it on center, right? Like you shouldn't be like, with your finger, you shouldn't be like squeezing the clay to the center. You know, that's not going to help you out. It's always pushing past. We got one more. So, and then on these ones, watch. So if you ever been collaring up way too tall, hold on. Camera B. Or if you've ever been collaring up way too tall, you'll always remember when you start collaring up from this bottom, this top gets all wonky. That's okay. Just project your hands forward a little bit, and then all of a sudden you can still finish off the thing without it getting too crazy on the top. And you can see I kind of went too much on this bottom part, but you can really get kind of crazy with this stuff. You know, don't be scared when your clay is soft. It can really do a whole lot. And we're coming down to the bottom here, and you can see this hand here, it's coming up, right up underneath there, so then it can just take that back up for another little collar there. And I think that stuff is some of the coolest parts about like doing that, is you really, like, there's really no mechanical advantage to being able to, my green screen's still on. Hold on one second, y'all. Back in a second. I just can't with my green screen, if I don't turn that off, I just drain the battery. Oh, green off. Green off. There we go. Okay. But you can really do a lot with that. With the clay, you know, there's no mechanical advantage to be able to cone it up that tall other than to just look cool, right? But I think, like, really it helps you just, anything that helps you understand the mechanics of clay just a little bit more, I don't think is totally useless, right? Like, I can understand, like, oh, how do I get it a little bit taller? Oh, I gotta do this sort of thing? Great, right? Like, you just get to learn the material more, and then you'll start to find what clay you find best, right? I mean, I like stoneware, I like grog, I like when the clay, I feel like it fights back a little bit. I feel like sometimes, like porcelain, I feel like it just has no integrity. It just feels like fake. It feels not honest, you know? Like, I feel like I just kind of, like, whatever I do to that, it just automatically wants to. Okay, this is way too loud. Hey, shut the heck up. Turn you down a little bit. It's like I'm in a video game fantasy land in like like a tavern or something. But can't even remember what I was talking about now. Whatever. Here we go, right on the bottom. We're getting our knuckle. So the knuckle's pushing in. There you go. Look at that. And we're like I said, this first pull is not about getting all that clay, you know, all the way to the top, getting that height. No, this first pull is really about getting that clay equalized. Well, come back, sponge. Trying to get away, dude. He's got pots to make. Right down to the bottom here. And loosen up as we get to the top there. Alright, so we can do do one pull now, one normal pull. So we go down to the bottom of the clay. We say, hey Clay, do you have anything for us, friend? Clay says, yeah, bro. Got us a little bump. Can you take it to the top of the pot? And we say, of course, Clay, we can do that for you, bro. We can do that for you, bro. And you know, it's so funny, you know, sometimes the clay asks you multiple things. It'll be like, hey, you know, can you do it once? Yeah, I got you. Can you do it another time? I don't know, Clay. You're getting a little bit thin, dude. Let me see. But I'll see what I can do. Oh, you got a bump for us down here? Alright, I guess I'll try it. A little bit thin in that middle part. You can see how it starts losing itself. That's okay. Great. So we did that. Okay. But you can see kind of in that middle spot, it gets a little bit too thin. So I gotta be careful when I go to make the veins for the tree here, that I don't totally just ruin it. Okay. Going back to the bottom here. I want to separate this edge out a little bit. Nice. Okay, let's start there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I should have done 9. Oh, I ripped a hole in there. That's okay. It's pretty thin, so I think it will collapse no matter what. So here we go. Yep, there it goes. We're going out as wide as we can. Come off the pot there. You can see you can get some really cool looking forms. There's an air bubble on this bottom edge here, so that's unfortunate. Okay, right up down into the bottom. Peek this up just a little bit here. Nice. Okay, a little bit of water right on that edge. Pinky underneath. I slowly bring this up. We can't do too much with it, right? Because it's so thin. And I think, realistically, I really think that these forms need the cut. I feel like they don't look good without it, you know. So we're gonna go back in with the cut here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We're going to start by twisting these up the side of the pot here. And sometimes there's a little bit too much water in some of these areas, so we already know that in some areas it's going to tear because it's just too thin. That's okay. Alright. Okay. Look at that, guys. Okay, get our little knife underneath here. Sometimes I think cleaning up this bottom edge here, just getting some of that water out of there is a good idea. First it just looks cleaner. And you know what, we're going to leave these ones like as is. We're not going to curl them in like what we did with the other one here. But there's number 2, guys. Alright. We got one more for you guys today. Let's see if anybody said anything. Not yet? No? Alright. Camera A. I feel like it can't see me. Can it? Does it recognize my hand? There it does. The demon in the dragon's nest. Oh yeah. So fun. Demon in the dragon's nest. That'd be so funny if I had like a little dragon like image that would like fly around the screen. You know, my buddy, he had a really interesting idea. My buddy was like, yo, what if you made like a little robot that had like a camera on it and could like run around, and then I could swap to like the screen of the or the video footage from the robot just like roaming around. Be like, what's robot doing? You know, some people have like in the streaming community, they'll have like a like a guinea pig camera, you know, and it's just a camera on their guinea pigs randomly there. I feel like I could do something a little bit more, I don't know, robot kind of sounds interesting. Okay, camera B. All right, here we go. So I'm right up underneath, water, right on that edge, and I want to get it sealed first, right? So that's what I'm doing with my fingers on this bottom edge. And at that point, I'm reminding myself of the 2 lanes of traffic, and there you go, right? There's one, okay? Get your other lane of traffic forward and coming back towards you, and that's what's getting that clay to go upwards. And then, right, when we get to this bottom part here, you know, you might say, well, that's too tall, you're going to get too wonky in the top, and usually you'd be right, but what I learned is if you just start pushing forward a little bit as you're going up, you can still get one more out of it. Okay, and at this point, you know, you can go all sorts of craziness. You can bring that down in front, and then what you're doing with this right hand here is you're just following wherever it's wanting to get off, right? And that's where you're placing that hand as you're slowly putting that pressure down. And as you get to the bottom, this right hand all of a sudden starts carving at that bottom upwards towards yourself, so you can blend it right into another little pull upwards. And you can go down, clamp that elbow in to your hip, and a little bit of water on there. There you go. From this point, I like to have mine a little bit more flat. So I bring down the hammer fist, and I bring it towards my palm. And there we go. We got a hockey puck. Okay. From this point, I'm going to push my fingers in there just a little bit, right? Create a little pond. Fingers down inside. Bring my fingers towards myself. So I got some stuff that's a little bit off-centered in this area. So we got to make sure we're okay here. Sorry for the coughing. I've been doing our little llama pole to create our first volcano. We got our volcano, great, hand underneath. Knuckle, bottom here. And that first pole, remember, it's all about equalizing that clay. Get all nice and equal. We got one more like that. I'm going to give myself a little bit more clay on the bottom to have some fun with the tendrils this time. But again, that clay. Looks nice. There we go. So we got to do one more pole here. Well, we actually have maybe 2 more poles, but we're down at the bottom. And then we always ask the clay for a gift. It's that bump. Thank you, clay. Thank the clay, and we got to take that gift, and we got to go to the top of the pot with it. All right, thank you so much, clay. All right, I guess we can do one collar. It's not really necessary here, but I think I want to try to get something a little bit more narrow. And remember, your collaring should feel like a pole. Like, it shouldn't just feel like nothing's happening. Here we go, a little bit of water on this bottom edge. And so we're going to go right down to the bottom. And then this one, we got to do an equalizing pole first, which might just be enough height to not even merit another height pole. Yeah, I don't think we'll do another height pole. But again, like, we're just wanting to get that nice and cylindrical. There you go. Alright. A little bit of water on this bottom edge here. Look at that. Okay. Down at the bottom edge. Slow that wheel down a bunch, right?
pause. And so, do you see how we have this nice little spiral? But when we pause, we can start something new,
and it doesn't throw the whole top off center, right? I've been doing that recently to add some more intention to the bottoms of the pots.
Sometimes when they're collapsed, they don't look like they're too intentional. So that's like my way of adding something, you know, to it. Okay. Okay, there's that.
Little tree on the top edge here. Fingers on the interior. Slowly bring this out. Just calm with that edge there. Very slow. Pinch that edge. Look at that. This little squatted tree on that top. And so now that we have a bunch of clay on this bottom, we can really have fun with the tendrils on this one. And so we'll make them pretty long. Start by taking that out. A little bit more water there. Take this out. I guess I can show you all what it looks like on the inside too. I think this stuff is kind of cool. So hold on, let me grab my clay flashlight. Camera C. This one you can kind of see. So you can look at that spiral on the interior there. I think it kind of looks crazy, you know. Love that stuff. I love how the rim starts acting like a framing device for that too. I think it really activates what's going on that interior there. All right. Now we're right up underneath his bottom edge. And we're bringing this slowly towards the interior there. Great. Okay. So we're going to do one pull, but we don't want to use too much water. We only want to use water on the outside here. Okay. Finger underneath. Slowly bring this out. Okay. Nice job, guys. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4. I guess we gotta do 5. Okay. Start with this one, I guess. This one curl up the side of the pot. So these ones are a little bit thicker than what I'd want though. But it's still gonna look nice. I think a lot of the moments on the pot are pretty small. Like if I look at the top, that's not a very wide top, right? That's not a very tall twist on the middle part there, right? And so I think having a little bit larger tendrils on this pot actually makes sense. And so we'll kind of lean into that a little bit and just go with it and have them launch up towards that middle part there. Okay, we gotta bring these parts in. Nice. There's number 3. So, oh yeah, camera B. Camera B. There we go. Pretty cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna swap over to. Hold on. Let's do. Camera A. Goated 4.
And a lot of times it can fuck you up. It can ruin your life. You can be obsessed, but I'll tell you one thing. if you want to be great, you want to be best motherfucker ever at what you do, you could be misunderstood by everybody because you're going to be so fucking obsessed and so driven to get there. That's what it takes.
That's the truth.
It takes every second of your fucking life. Anybody says balance? Yeah, balance is important for a lot of fucking people. It is. But if you want to fucking go to that edge where people do not like you, don't understand you, question everything you fucking do, you've arrived. When you are misunderstood to the point where fucking people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, why are you in the fucking gym at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning? You just got to doing an op for fucking 13, 14 hours after Ranger School, man, at the gym. What's wrong? You will never understand what is wrong with me. And that's why I'm so fucking glad you don't. Because I'm in the right fucking spot.
All right. So this is what we got cooking up right now. If I'm looking at this, I'm not vibing with it. I'm not vibing with this at all. I almost feel like this needs to be further back or something. Yeah, I guess that works. I just don't like the idea of it cutting it off a little bit. That's the only problem, right? But, hold on. Okay, I guess that's okay. But now I think I'm gonna go over here. I want to make sure this first one's in focus though. There we go. Green on. Okay, here we are, guys. If I'm looking at these pots today, I think all of them kind of explored having a little bit taller of a base and then leading up into the twist. So I feel like they all have a really good intention. If I'm looking at them though, you know, I'd say that maybe I like this one because I think it has like a cool collapse and it's a little bit looser on the top and it's thinner. And so I feel like it's a little bit more dramatic. If I go over to here, like I think there's some nice moments like this bottom part with the thick tendrils going up of it I think is nice, but I think there's not enough drastic contrast that's happening in this one is not happening here. And then this top one I think is just too uniform and I didn't think that there was anything too crazy about it. So I'll give maybe that one like a 3 or something. It is dipping in a little bit, which is cool, but that's it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality.
But not as I did.